Hello, it's Echo. So I have a lot of creative hobbies. I'm a very artsy person. I do a lot of arts and crafts, and recently one of the creative endeavors that I have been indulging in is stamps. I have a very large stamp collection, but not the kind of stamps that you use to send mail. Rubber stamps. I like vintage rubber stamps. I like new silicone stamps. I feel like vintage rubber stamps you can usually find at like thrift stores. The more modern way to make stamps is out of silicone, which is really nice because it's transparent. So it's easier to see where you're putting ink on your paper. The main reason that I've been so interested in stamps recently is because when we went to Japan last year, I got a bunch of really cool stamps at an art store and some really nice ink pads, but I felt like I didn't really have enough tools to work with to actually be able to make things, so I wanted to expand my stamp collection a little bit. So I have been buying stamps everywhere. Thrift stores, the dollar store, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and I looked on Amazon a little bit, but a lot of their stamps are kind of overpriced. So I decided to try opening the Wish app, which has been collecting dust on my phone for over a year. And there are a lot of really good stamp designs on Wish. So I want to do a little bit of a haul and show you all of the stamps that I currently have in my collection, and then I want to show you some of the things that I have made with them. So I've actually not shopped on Wish for like a year because it's one of those companies that, given how low their prices is, it's probably not the most ethical place to shop, but it ended up being the easiest place for me to get a good variety of silicone stamps. So something very interesting that has happened in the very long hiatus I have taken from ordering from Wish is that they now send you all of your packages at once. So all of these were in one big bag, which was very nice. When I used to order on Wish, they used to send individual packages like a month apart. So it's kind of cool that they've updated and now they're all sending them in a singular package. Okay, so we're just gonna start right off the top. I have pre-cut these. We're gonna look at some of the stamps I got. So these are some of the ones that I was the most excited about. As soon as I saw them, I knew that they would be perfect for the project that I'm working on. Ooh, I'm actually gonna take them out of this. Just about all of these stamp sheets were under $2 each, which is more expensive than I would pay at like the dollar store, but there is more variety. So the reason I wanted this is because this is perfect for accents and borders, check boxes, calendars, whatever kind of to-do list I want to make. This is just a generally functional set of stamps. And then this one is kind of astrological. The main reason that I got this one was actually because of these borders, but it's mostly just a bunch of really fun, pretty astrological globes. These ones are really cool. Next, we have Season's Greeting. I don't really care about all the holiday stuff. Maybe I'll make some holiday cards, sure, whatever, but I just really liked all of the pine trees and the like the plank of wood, the ivy leaves, all of the holly, there's a little bow. I feel like there's a lot of little accents in here that I can make really good use of. Nature. Butterflies, dragonflies, bugs, cute little stamps, like actual stamp-looking stamps. Again, I just kind of wanted some nature-y butterflies, and these are pretty. Two more. These ones both came from a shop that had a lot of fairy stamps, and each of these had at least two that I really wanted. The fairies are cool, they're nice, I'm not super into them, but I do really like all of these like plants. This little city like house setup thing is really nice. I really like this and this tree. The houses are really cute. I like these little stone cobble style folklore illustrations. I don't really care about the seahorse, but I do like that this looks like a bird nest fungus. In general, very straightforward, very cute, good variety. And finally, some basic frames. These are just kind of universally useful. These are really good for cards. You can see that each of these are a corner piece that you can use to stamp around the corners of a page. Again, this is just something that's generally useful if I want to make cards or invitations or something. This can pretty much be applied to anything. Now, I also got a couple stamps from Hobby Lobby, which is a store that I'm not a huge fan of. For starters, I got some stamp blocks. These are really nice, they're thick, they have printed grids, these are really good. Basically, you'll take your stamp, whatever size you're working with, put it on the back, and then you can see how much ink it's picking up and you can see where you're placing it on your paper. Before, I was just using some like plastic boxes and things, and these work fine, but these are much more stable. I really like these. And then the other two things that we got are Bo Bunny Antique Garden stamps. So 2 sets of stamps. These were some of the cheapest ones that they had. They were $2. Joe bought me this one because look, it's mushrooms. Isn't that amazing? They're both 15 pieces. This one has a bunch of universally useful things like this square frame, this kind of rose design. All the little flowers and bees are really pretty. I probably won't use like love or enjoy the little things. That's just not really my style. I don't have much of a use for that. But the mushrooms, I'm so excited about. Look, they even have morels. These are morels. They're delicious. They taste like steak and butter. So these are more stamps that I am excited to try out. Mushrooms. And then the last thing I got at Hobby Lobby is this. It's a barrel of stamps. It has, how many? 16 pieces. They're like nice, cute little small stamps. And it came with quite a few. These are again, nice, simple paw prints, footprints, little things for little projects. So these are mostly stamps that we got when we were in Japan. You can see, I talk about all of these in my Japan art supplies video. And of course I have 2 colors of stamp pads, black and red, because that's my aesthetic. And then I also keep a little card in here with a sample of what the stamps look like. These stamps are self-inking, so the color is part of the stamp. And then I also have this bucket of old stamps. So these are my 2 favorite ones. This is a cute little paw print, and I just really like the shape of this. This is a vintage rubber stamp, and then also this one, date, time, place, 4. This is just for making like little to-do lists. It's really nice, but it's also a million years old and very crusty. This is one of my old stamp pads, which is again, red. It's pretty much dead. I might try adding water to it or something, I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure this stamp pad is mostly dead. And then all of these are old-fashioned, like, birthday card, holiday stamps. Congratulations. All of these came from thrift stores, and I've made little sample cards so I can see what they look like. This one is for a library, I think. Congratulations. You are invited. Best wishes. Happy Halloween. That one's probably my favorite. Happy holidays. A heart. Snowflake. I love you. Date, time, and the paw. Yeah, very cute stamps. So all of these came from a Goodwill, including these stamp pads. This is the only not red or black stamp pad that I have, and it's a old blue one. I don't even know if it works anymore. But yeah, that's the second box. So now I want to show you the silicone stamps that I already have. This is how I like to store them. These are glass panes. I would rather store them on acrylic, but this was all I had at the moment. So the reason that I like this is because they stick to it very well. It's very nice. But also I can tape a piece of paper on the back and put samples so I can see what's on this page. All of these I purchased at the dollar store. They were $1 per sheet. This one with like 4 different alphabets is all right here. There's a bunch of space alien invaders. I believe these are meant for like a space-themed birthday card, which is fine. I like the planets, I like the star. I will probably never use these aliens. Maybe this one. And then there's also these like mock vintage stamps where there's a farmhouse, the word farm, I guess, a guitar, some Converse looking shoes, and then I guess a rancher and his horse. And also this random stamp that says I love llama is from this page. So the ones up here are supposed to look like stamps that you would use if you're sending mail, but they're also kind of French themed, which is weird. And then down here we have like travel, aesthetic, and llamas. I don't know, the dollar store's weird. So if you look, there's the Eiffel Tower, there's some heels, more Eiffel Tower, and then down here we have some llamas, some sandals, and a bunch of summer travel stuff. I really like this cactus. And this cactus. Watermelons for Palestine. So these ones are glass, but I want to store these on acrylic. So while I was at the dollar store, I also purchased some of these, which are acrylic photo frames. But I did have to break them and sand them because they had like a stand on the bottom that I didn't like. So I've ended up with 2 different sizes. These smaller ones that were on the bottom and these larger ones. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna put all of these stamps on these sheets, and then I'm going to also tape a piece of paper to the back and do some sample prints so that I can see what the stamps look like. See how true to the image they actually are. Because this has a lot of detail and it's very promising, but that doesn't mean that that's what the actual stamp looks like. The stamp could be super fuzzy. So I don't rely on these images that they put on back. I rely on this, on sample stamps that I can see what the stamp actually looks like. So I'm gonna work on that and I will see you on the other side. So one of the main benefits of rubber and silicone stamps is that whatever you make, it's fairly easy to reproduce. So once you have a design you're happy with, you can replicate that over and over again. So one of the things that I wanted to make with these are cards. Thank you cards, invitations, birthday cards. Some of them came out better than others. So I recorded a little bit of my initial process. So the first thing that I did was I used watercolor paper because watercolor paper is very thick. It has that like nice cardstock consistency. And I cut them so that they would be small enough to fit within a standard 6x4 envelope. And then I also rounded the corners because that's a personal preference for me. I feel like it looks more professional when the corners are rounded. And then I tried just a little bit of layout stuff. I was really excited about the mushroom stamps because they come out looking so nice. So I tried to make something kind of nature inspired, but it just doesn't look right. Everything is not quite balanced. I'm pretty sure that the vines are upside down. So this one was kind of just a throwaway card. It was good to get my feet wet, if that makes any sense. That being said, I do not like this one. So this one, I don't know, I will give away to friends and family. So I didn't record my card making process for the rest of these because it was all very experimental, just to see what came out. And some of them I really like, some of them are not that good. But the second one that I made, I really love. I would say this is my first official decent card. I did not think I was going to use the love stamp. It just feels very limited, like there's not a lot you can do with it. After I recorded the stamp haul, we ended up going to Hobby Lobby to get primer, and they had a bunch of Valentine's Day stuff on like 70% discount. One of them being this really cute geometric heart stamp. So that one I just got, and I feel like this would be a really cute card for your significant other, or a Valentine's Day card, or an anniversary card. It's just really pretty and really simple. I like this one. This one's one of my favorites. The second one that I made is this one, and it is terrible. Because I liked the love stamp, I decided to try and use the enjoy the little things stamp, and I put it inside of a frame, but the frame just kind of makes it hard to read. It also just feels very random. I feel like there's a possibility that I could redeem this. Like, there are ways I could clean this up and make it not so chaotic, but that's something I'm just gonna have to play around with. So after that, I tried again, and I ended up with this one. I realized that I had two paw print stamps, so I used the red and black to make overlapping prints. And then I tried again with a larger, lighter frame around the enjoy the little things. I feel like this would be good if someone in your family has dogs, or has a dog birthday, or just got a puppy. I feel like this one needs to be revised. It needs a little bit more revision before I'm happy with it. Next we have a card that is covered in bows. I realized I had 3 different bow stamps, and so I wanted to do something where I used them to create kind of a pattern, but then I didn't know what to put in the center, so I just kind of used this big dragonfly stamp, and it kind of just makes this card look empty. Like there's supposed to be something else on top of it. I don't know, but this one to me just looks unfinished. If you have any suggestions on what I could do to revise these cards, please feel free to put it in the comments. I would appreciate it, but that's this card. Not my favorite. With this one, I decided to try and only work with black, and I love this one. It says out of this world. It uses one of the beautiful astrological globes, all 3 of the star stamps that I had. This one feels very clean. The weight feels nice. Something I think would be really nice with this is to take maybe a cyan or magenta and make a gradient underneath it. At this point, I was on a roll. I was really happy with a bunch of the layouts that I was coming up with, and so I decided to revisit the whole using stamps as a pattern thing because I realized I had 3 different bee stamps and a ton of butterflies. So with this one, I put bees all along the top, butterflies all along the bottom, and I felt like I needed to put some form of text in the center, and for some reason the shrimps as bugs meme has been stuck in my head for like a week, so that's what I put. This would be a great card for someone who loves the internet. I might put shrimps as bugs as filler text for all of my cards because it's funny. It makes me happy. And now, this is another one I absolutely love. So I realized that the empty tree stamp was actually the perfect size to use with the little sakura flower stamp that I got in Japan, and it just looks so beautiful with the bloom and grow, so I went ahead and I put them together. Funny enough, this grass is actually 2 sides of a feather. And then I also ended up duplicating this card because I wanted to see how difficult it was to replicate the exact same card, and then also see how different they came out. Luckily, it doesn't seem like there's that much of a difference between them. They're both really beautiful. I really like these cards. And then the final card that I did, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how to make it better. So if you have any ideas, please tell me. I cannot figure out how to use these mushrooms in an aesthetically pleasing way. This one is like a really cool fairy tale card, but I don't know what text to put. I don't know what this card is for. I know there's people who would love this card, but to me, it feels like it's missing something. I don't know if I need to add color to it or text or what. So if you can think of something, let me know. Otherwise, I don't know what to do with this one. The 4 designs that I'm actually really happy with, I will be putting on my store, echoisweird.shop. I'm going to be selling them in sets of 3 for $5, which is cheaper than a Hallmark card, with free shipping in the US and $1 international shipping. Each card will come with its own envelope. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you to my patrons for helping me put this kind of thing together and supporting my itty bitty business. I will give you 400 awesome points for making it all the way to the end of this video. I hope the rest of your day is amazing, and I will see you later. Goodbye. Stop it. Stop it. What are you doing?